Hi, BookTube. I have a spur of the moment video for you today. Pat over at Book Chat with Pat, who I will link down below. If, as I say, you are watching this channel and somehow not also watching Book Chat with Pat, she posted a video of her doing the childhood book tag, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that she tagged me in it. So, thank you, Pat. The tag, I'm happy to come across it because it kind of covers some of the same ground as the BookTube newbie tag questions, but kind of encourages you to expand on your answers and talk about the same books but in greater detail. So I'm just going to get right into it. Question 1 is, were you a big reader as a child? I would say that I was a medium reader as a child. I clearly did not read nearly as much as a lot of you did, but I feel like I read probably more than most of my friends. But my time that I had to myself as a child was split between watching movies and TV, playing video games, and reading. And the first few things took the vast majority of that time. Question 2 is, did your parents read to you? And if so, what? Yes, my parents read to me Dr. Seuss, and we also had a lot of little golden books that my mom would usually read to me before bed. Question 3 is your first bookish memory. I wish that I could say, I remember very vividly, the first book I ever read, or the first book I ever, checked out from a library. But I do very vividly remember one of the first times I visited my local library as a kid, and being confronted with more books than I had ever seen up to that point, and realizing that being a reader presented you with infinite possibilities. So yeah, that's definitely a lasting memory. Question 4, be honest. Did you read the books assigned to you in school? Yes, most of them. It's easy for me to remember the books that I didn't read, because I honestly did read most of them, but I have two failures. Number 1 being the Scarlet Letter, which I read, or, kind of read, the first few chapters of, I think in my junior year of high school. I just could not get into it. And the worst part was that in that particular high school class, I was getting advanced English credit, and also we were earning our speech credit in that class, which meant that we had to give presentations on all the books that we read. And I was, assigned one of the last few chapters of the book, and I thought I could just read the Cliff Notes or Spark Notes or whatever and just go up there and wing it. Huge mistake. I just got up there and maybe got out 2 sentences, and just completely went blank. But despite that horrible memory, I did return to the Scarlet Letter as an adult and saw what there was to see in it, and it's a fantastic book, of course. The other book from high school that I didn't finish was Huckleberry Finn. Just could not get into Huck Finn, and I haven't gone back to it. I haven't gone back to Mark Twain at all. I don't. I mean, there's got to be a short story or a short essay or something by him that I have read, but he is one of my big blind spots. But the books that I did read, that I was assigned in middle school and high school, in middle school, the main ones that I remember were The Outsiders, Where the Red Fern Grows, Bridge to Terabithia, and then in high school we read The Great Gatsby, Grapes of Wrath, Night by Elie, Beowulf, and then the summer after 8th grade, going into 9th grade, we had to read Lord of the Flies, and then at the end of the summer, go up to the school before the school year started, and take like a big test on it because I was going into like advanced English. And Lord of the Flies, I kind of struggled with at first, but by the end of it, I kind of got into it. And so those I all read. But yeah, Scarlet Letter, Huck Finn, my two, the two that I will admit I did not finish. Question 5 is, where did you get your books as a child? Mainly the library, and if not there, they would have been, Christmas presents, birthday presents, or the occasional trip to Goodwill or the thrift store. Question 6, did you watch any television meant to inspire reading? I honestly don't think so. I missed out on reading Rainbow as a kid, and my television watching was Cartoon Network and SpongeBob SquarePants. So that's about it. Question 7 is, what sort of genres or storylines did you like? And with a few exceptions, I really liked humorous but realistic stories about kids that were my own age. And the ones that I thought of immediately when watching Pat's video were Judy Blume's Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing and Super Fudge, that whole series. The Wayside School books by Louis Sachar, and Junie B. Jones. That kind of stuff. There's probably more, but those are the three that just came to mind immediately. Question 8 is, favorite children's or picture book? There's plenty that come to mind. I could say, Green Eggs and Ham, or The Velveteen Rabbit, the Giving Tree, Captain Underpants and the Perilous Plot of Professor Poopy Pants. Who could forget? But I think by a pretty wide margin, it's The Mysteries of Harris Burdick, which is one of those books that I can point to and say, I think I would have been a significantly different person if I had not encountered that book when I did and just been completely captured by it. That book made me curious to a greater degree than I had been before. Also gave me an appetite for, the scary and the spooky and the mysterious. Question 9 is, favorite chapter or big kids book? And I would go back to Louis Sachar and his book, There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom, which was not only very funny to me at 8 or 9 or 10 years old whenever I read it, but was unexpectedly moving. It's one of the first books that I remember kind of realizing I'm not just enjoying this as a humorous kind of funny story, but I'm emotionally touched by this. I think that was the first book to give me that feeling in a way that I was really consciously aware of. And then question 10 is, your favorite children's series, and I've mentioned this in my BookTube newbie video. Suzanne Collins' Gregory the Overlander series. I think it's called the Underland Chronicles. Those were my books from age 10 to age 12. That was what I was all about. And they never made a movie out of them. Why not? I mean, like what? Like you've got an underworld, an underland city. You have giant rats. You have giant spiders, giant snakes, giant bats. You have like a princess, and you would think with the success of the Hunger Games, that the series that this author is really known for, you would think somebody would have taken a chance on Gregor, on the Underland Chronicles, but so far nothing, and probably never. And question 11, or number 11, is to tag others. Obviously, if you come across this video and want to make a video of your own, go right ahead. But I do want to tag 3 other BookTube newbies. Elie at aka JK, a reader like Maria, and Angelina, hope I'm pronouncing that right, at Books Do Things to Me. Very nice channel name. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and thank you to Pat once again for the tag.